Welcome back, learners. Previously, I gave us today's topic, which is the concept of biology. First and foremost, how do we define biology? What do you understand by the term or the concept of biology? Biology can be defined as the science of life. Biology was actually coined from two Greek words. One, bios, meaning life. Two, logos, meaning to study. Bios is spelled as B-I-O-S and logos is spelled as L-O-G-O-S. So if you bring these two Greek terms together, you have the study of life. The English term is biology, which means the science of life. So you can simply define biology as the science of life or the study of life. Alternatively, you can define it as the study of living things. Either of these definitions would go. But how you shouldn't define biology is thus. Biology is the study of living and non-living things. I noticed over the years, many learners make this mistake of defining biology as the study of living and non-living things. No, biology is more particular about living things, about anything that has life. However, non-living things may be studied together with the living things as it affects the living things. But basically, biology is particular about life. And that is why it is defined as the study of life or the study of living things. Now, let's look at the branches and the sub-branches of biology. Biology has two major branches. One is botany, which is defined as the study of plants, and two is zoology, which is defined as the study of animals. Now, a scientist who researches on plants is called a botanist, and that who researches on animals is called a zoologist. So there you have it, the two major branches. What of the sub-branches? Under these two major branches, there are smaller branches called the sub-branches. Number one is ecology. How do we define ecology? Ecology is defined as the study of living things in relation to their environment. Ecology studies living things in their environments because the environment of a living thing affects it, whether positively or negatively. So the association, the relationship between any living organism in its environment is what ecology studies. Two, under the sub-branches of biology is anatomy. Anatomy is simply the study of the internal structures in a living organism. Every living organism has its own anatomy, be it plant or animals. In animals, for instance, the anatomy could include the heart, the lungs, the liver, the intestine, and so on and so forth. And in plants, it could be the vascular bundles like the cambium, the xylem, the phloem, and the rest of it. There are very many of them. Anatomy is simply the study of that internal structure that makes up a living organism. Number three, under the sub-branch of biology, is morphology. Morphology is just like a direct opposite of anatomy. Morphology is the study of the external features of plants and animals. Where anatomy studies the internal structures, morphology studies the external features in plants and animals. For instance, if you are to give the morphological features in man, you could look at the height of a man, the complexion, the shape of the eyes, the shape of the nose, the ears, the hands, the legs. All these are the external features in man. What about plants? If you are to give the morphological features in a plant, you could give the leaves, the branches, the stem, etc. These are the morphological features in a plant. And number 4 is genetics. Genetics is the study of heredity and variation in a living organism. Basically, what I'm saying is that genetics as a study, as a sub-branch of biology, studies the heredity in living things. That is the traits or the characters that are being transmitted from parents to offspring, both in plants and animals. And also variation in the sense that even amongst offspring of a parent, even among organisms of a particular species, there still exist some differences that abide in them. Those differences is what is studied under variation as a branch under genetics. So genetics studies variation and heredity in a living organism. Then last but not least is physiology. Physiology is the study of the function of the parts of a living organism. I'll take that one more time. Physiology is the study of the function of the parts of a living organism. Every living organism is made up of various parts that are very functional. The functions of these parts is what physiology is focused on. For instance, in a man, we have our cells, tissues, organs, and systems. All these make up an animal, and they have their various distinct functions. All these functions is what is being studied under physiology. When we come back after this short break, we'll conclude with this lesson.